UK is having a literal heatwave at the moment, and I decided to film this video without my fan on because I didn't want the background noise to disturb the video. So I've got my window open and I'm going with that. I'm prepared to regret that decision in like 0.25 seconds because oh my god, it's already getting stuffy in here. Hello there, it's Rennie and my dad, Tori here. How are we? I hope you're all doing well. Where are you going? So today is a Loungefly video, but it's a bit of a different video. It's a first for me because I did something for the first time in my Loungefly collection. And it's always been something I've been kind of like edging against up until now, but now I took the plunge and I thought I'd talk to you guys about it, so in case it was something you were looking at, we can talk through it together. As you can see, I have a Loungefly with me today, and this is not a Loungefly we have unboxed on the channel because I actually got this secondhand. I know, I've always been like partially against secondhand Loungeflies to an extent, but I saw this and I could not let it go. This has been like a grail bag of mine, a dream bag of mine for so long. It got released in the American parks, so Disneyland and Walt Disney World, a couple of years ago. It came over to Disney Store in Oxford Street, London briefly. People saw it in there for like a couple of days and then it went. It never came over to Disneyland Paris. So my chances of getting hold of it were always very slim. When I went over to Walt Disney World in January, this wasn't about because I'm pretty sure it is sold out in the park. And it is, as you can see, the Main Street USA Dapper Dans Loungefly, and it is the Funko style. So the Dapper Dans are like in like Funko figure style. And even though the Dapper Dan, it's a tough question this. Technically, we don't have them at Disneyland Paris, but they have made rare appearances. So I kind of knew this wasn't, when it got released, it wasn't going to make its way over to Paris because generally they're not a thing we have. But so being a big Disney Parks fan I am, when I saw this bag released, I just really wanted it. Other than its short release in the UK, it was just going to be hard to get hold of over here. So now it's the summertime here in England, boot sales are up and running again, and I try to go to one every Sunday. And there's this really good one, because usually they're like hit and miss. There's this really good one like 20 minutes away from me. It's usually really big. Now on this particular Sunday, we were planning to do 2 boot sales in one day. We went to this one first and then we were going to do another one afterwards. We didn't even make it to the second one because this first one, which is usually really good, was double the size as normal. We didn't even get all of it done. So we were going up and down the aisles like you normally do at the boot sale, and we came across this stall and she was selling Funkos and different figures. There was a few that I recognised from the park, and she had this beauty sat on top of some Funkos and it instantly drew my attention. First off, I couldn't believe I was seeing a Loungefly. Like, first off, I just want to say I'm always like surprised when I see Loungeflies in the wild. That's always crazy to me, let alone seeing one at the boot sale. So I went up and had a bit of a look to it. I didn't want to get my hopes up because I was like, this is a boot sale. People are selling things for cheap. It's not going to be in good condition. Like, why is someone even selling a Loungefly at a car boot sale? I picked it up and asked if I could have a look. Like, it's still got its bag straps on. It's still got like the plastic wrap on the handle. It's still got the labels, like the original Parks label, $75. It's still got everything. It's still literally completely entirely packaged. The only thing it didn't have was like the stuffing and pouch stuff. Other than that, brand new with tags, as you can say. And after having a quick once over, I was like, this is in really good condition. And so I started talking to the lady. She brought it on her last Florida holiday and it had just been sitting on her shelf ever since. And she just felt guilty about owning it because of like the price tag that comes with Loungeflies, and it just wasn't her kind of thing to like have something sat on a shelf that she wasn't going to use, which I did kind of confuse me because that's like the whole point of collecting, but you know, each to their own. So that's when I then inquired about price. Obviously Loungeflies retail for around £80 depending on where you are, but around £80–70, about that. And obviously this was from America Parks. I believe she did say she got it from Florida, and as you saw in the tag, it's $75, which, what does that convert to? I don't actually know the conversion rate. Dollars to pounds. US dollars, 75. Okay, so 75 US dollars equals to £58.45. Ah, okay, I didn't. 1 US dollar is equal to 78p in the UK. Okay, I didn't actually know that. That's interesting. So let's say in pounds, let's just round that up, so that's about £60. And let's also just take into the fact that this bag is sold out in the parks, to my knowledge. Well, I'm not too sure. It wasn't in Florida when I was there. I can't speak for California. It's not available in Paris. It's not available in Oxford Street Disney Store. It's not available in Shop Disney UK. So as far as we're concerned, it is not available in the UK or any of our links to Disney over here with Oxford Street and Paris. So I was literally expecting her to say like £80, £90. I've seen it sold on Facebook groups for 110. I was expecting something along that lines, and obviously I don't carry that much money at a car boot sale, you know, I've probably got a £5 on me at most. She said £50, which kind of like, it knocked me off my feet a bit. I was not expecting that. If you've never been to a car boot sale before, you kind of like wheel deal, like negotiate prices. I'm not good at that. I have social anxiety, I'm not doing that. But I was with my mum, and my mum's really good at it, and she went, will you take 45? And they went, lady, without hesitation, she said, went yeah. So I got the bag for £45, which is crazy to me. It's insane. So that was my first ever experience of buying a secondhand Loungefly. So I've just made some points that I want to talk through with you guys before you go and buy your first ever pre-loved Loungefly. I've got a list somewhere. So I got a new phone, just want a quick mention to that. I got the Samsung Galaxy S22 in rose gold. I have got a case, it's coming. It's just taking its time, but yeah, I got a pink phone. Whose surprise is that? Where's my list? Okay, number 1, check the conditions, and this also kind of links up with number 2 where I said give an inspection. So if you are in person, like how I was at the car boot sale, or whatever case you found yourself in person looking at a secondhand Loungefly. First up, the thing you want to look for is it new with tags? This is always the thing you want to look for, because then if it's new with tags, then the chances of damage is a lot less. So as I can see, with the straps on, tags on, protector on, that was all ticked. My only concern was obviously when I said she's taken the stuffing out, I did have a quick look through, and even though there's no stuffing in there, you can tell nothing has been in there. I don't know why she took the stuffing out. Yeah, just give it like a once over, check if it's new with tags. If it's not new with tags, just do some extra checks. And I know you don't want, do check over things like pen marks, any damage, any watermarks. If it's been used, you'll notice like the creases and wear in the bag. Look for those. Check that the zips are all good. Just literally give it like a health check over. And I was 99% happy with this, if not 100. If you are buying online, this opens up a different gate. So obviously you can't be there to inspect the bag in person. So whether you're buying off of Facebook Marketplace, which I do not recommend, if you want to buy cheap Loungeflies online, join Loungefly collector groups. There are plenty of them on Facebook. I'm part of a few that I highly recommend and trust. Just marketplaces, when it comes to things like Loungeflies, don't fully trust everybody. If you want to get some, join a collecting group. So first off, you're going to want to ask the person for as many pictures as they can. Don't be shy to ask for all the different angles, the insides, the back, the front, the bottom, getting every good angle in the best quality pictures that they can, so you can get a proper good look at it. And I do believe I have got this listed further down on my list, but I will note it now as well. If you are doing it online, make sure the person includes in all of their photos, every time they send you a photo of the bag, make sure they are including a piece of paper or card or whatever in the photo with their name and the date that they are sending the photo on, just to prove that they do have the bag in hand. It is absolutely shocking how many scammers there are on the internet that will just steal people's pictures of Loungefly bags and sell them on and just scam the person. Just scam the person, you know, take their money and never send the bag because they never had the bag. This can happen on literally any platform, Facebook, eBay, Vinted, whatever the case is. Never buy a Loungefly bag online without the person sending their name and date on a card. And if they send it, like, the name and date edited on the photo, that is a massive red flag. Don't trust it. It has to be handwritten. Their name that they are talking to you under, so you know their account name, and the date. Handwritten in the photo next to the bag. Seems like a lot, I know, but you can never be, like, Loungeflies are expensive collected pieces. You want to know this person has the product in hand, because you'll also find a lot of people will buy new releases to sell on, usually for more money, and they will start listing them before the bag has actually got to them. If someone is not willing to give you a name and date card in the picture, that is a red flag. Move on, forget about the bag. But obviously if you're buying in person from something like a boot sale, that's fine, you know they've got the bag in. So it's just quality control checking you're looking for. Obviously I've already been through the zips, any wrinkles, any dents. If the bag's got ears and a bow on, if it's like one of those kind of bags, make sure they're straight and wonky. And on any particular bag, just check like over all of the stitchings, make sure nothing's plucked or frayed. And just, yeah, give the bag a good health check. This one may sound like a bit of a silly point, but I always think it's quite interesting. And just to make sure you are getting it from a genuine person, ask them why are they selling the bag. Because if they're in a Loungefly collectors group, or like this person at the car boot sale, you know, you could tell she was a Disney fan, you could tell she was like from it was her and her boyfriend. You can tell they were collectors because they had all these Funkos. In a collecting group, and there you can see they're collectors. Why are they selling a collector's piece? Why do they want to part with the bag in the first place? Kind of gather, just like bring it up in like general chit chat. Oh, why do you want to sell the bag? And you can quite often tell from their answers if it's a genuine reason or if it might be leading onto a bit of a scam. This, obviously, in person is much less chances of a scam than online, but this lady's reason for selling her bag could also generally be the most reason why people in collectors groups will sell their bags. So she was wanting to sell this bag simply to fund her next Florida trip. She said she prefers being able to go on more Disney trips than having things sat on a shelf at home, which honestly I completely agree with. That's fair enough. You know, I love a Disney trip as much as the next person, but I'm also a collector at the same time, so it's like a... She said if instead of having that money sat on a shelf that wasn't going to be used, she'd much prefer to sell the bag and then use the money to go back to Florida for another trip. That was a pretty genuine reason. Quite often, a lot of the time I see in collectors groups, people sell their bags, you know, maybe because they found another bag that they prefer more than that bag and they can't afford to have so many bags, so they'll rather sell on a bag. A lot of people do it to make money for Disney trips and things like that. But yeah, just kind of bring up why are they selling the bag, because if it's someone this is the thing, right? Each time I'm bringing up a point, the issue is always coming back to online. Red flags. If they cannot come up with like a good reason, like, oh yeah, I don't have enough, I need to like fund this, I need to have enough space or something like that. If you don't like, if their story doesn't sit well with you and it doesn't feel good, red flag. And then also leading on from that, the price. So this, as I said, I brought it from £45, but I had knocked her down from 50. Well, my mum had knocked her down from 50. And I personally was expecting to pay a bit more for it because obviously it's not available over here. That was a bit interesting. And then online, you can also, it goes from one extreme to the other. People will either try and sell it for too cheap just because they are desperate for the money for whatever reason. They will just want to sell the bag so they can get the money quicker. Or people are aware of the collector's value and will price mark it up anyway. Ideally, you want someone in the middle. If someone's selling a bag too cheaply, that always like rings alarm bells to me. I've literally just seen on Facebook Marketplace. In my hometown, someone is selling a Loungefly. They're claiming it's brand new with tags for £15. I'm sorry, that is way too cheap. There has got to be something dodgy going on there, because there is no way you're selling a Loungefly bag brand new with tags for £15. and because it's Facebook Marketplace, I was a bit iffy in the first place. So, and there was no like photos with names and tags, so the price is always something to look out for. A lot of genuine people will try and sell the bag as close to retail as possible. There is also something that's of current collector value. A lot of people will sell it for that, which is also pretty fair enough, but quite often just do look out for people that are just putting the price mark up anyway. If this is your first time buying a Loungefly and you're choosing to go secondhand just to save a little bit of money, do watch out for people that will, as I said, in these kind of things, there's a lot of scammers out there that you do need to be careful for, because they will know. If you're new to the collector's world of Loungefly and you're not aware of like collector's value and things like that, they will try and take advantage of that and put a little price tag on there just to take advantage of you. So when you are looking at getting Loungeflies, just do your research, try and work out what the current collector's value is. Also, if you can, try and find out what the original retail value is, and so you can meet somewhere around the collector's value and the retail value. Someone's selling it cheaper than retail, again, that can go two ways. Either it's, you know, too good to be true, which usually means it's a scam, or it's a genuine person that is just generally in need of money quickly. But just do like make sure you're having chats with them, making sure everything's clear, getting your photos, getting sure the conditions are in check. So in conclusion, buying secondhand Loungeflies online is a very risky business. I have never heard a successful Loungefly story from Vinted. So do be aware of if you see Loungeflies on Vinted. I have never heard a successful buying story on there. Everyone I know has got scammed that have tried to buy through Vinted. Facebook Marketplace, again, the thing with that, most of the time if someone's selling a bag on Facebook Marketplace, the chances are they're not a collector, they're just someone that probably went on holiday to Disney, brought it as a souvenir and now don't want it anymore, so don't actually know about the collector side of it. So just do be careful of that, which also means if they're not a collector, they probably aren't keeping good condition of their bag, and therefore you probably just want to avoid it in the first place. So if you are looking at buying, also eBay, kind of along the same lines. So if you are looking to buy on secondhand online, do just search for Facebook collecting groups. There are a few big ones out there that have really good admins, and the admins will filter out any clear scams, and obviously you can only be approved to get into the group, so most of the time people in there are nice and genuine people, and everyone's just in there because they love Loungeflies, and everyone is willing to help you and make sure that you do get your genuine Loungefly for a genuine price and avoid scams. So in conclusion, the world of Loungefly is a very confusing thing. Still, I'm going to stay like pretty clear of secondhand Loungeflies, just because I'm very much a collector and I do want to make sure they are 100% perfect and in good condition. But the fact that I saw this in person, so I was able to give it an inspection and check everything over, which is kind of like a one-off occasion. I mean, it's not going to be every week you see a Loungefly at a boot sale, so I took that chance. Always walk with caution through online when you're seeing them on there. If you have any other questions, do let me know in the comment section down below. I've been doing Loungefly collecting for 3 years now, and I've learned a bit along the way. I have quite a big collection if you're not aware, so if I can be of any help to you, do ask questions in the comment section down below and I'll do my very best to answer them. But yeah, that is everything for this video. I just wanted to kind of share my experience buying my first ever secondhand Loungefly and just give you some quick tips on buying them. Basically, I think my biggest tip is just to stay cautious. Don't be scared to ask too many questions. Get your photos and just be cautious. When buying Loungeflies online, just be cautious. That's just my biggest tip. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope it helped you in some way. Also hope it was enjoyable, you know, just me rambling here about Loungeflies for 20 minutes. Please do pop that thumbs up button, it really helps me out, and don't forget to click subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of my, and do click, I've done this in the wrong order, I don't know what I'm blabbering on about. As soon as I change my outro for one video, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's just start again. If you'd like to see more from what, do click subscribe down below, and while you're down there, don't forget the notification bell, you might as well. You're already down there, that's much better, it flowed better. I will see you next time. Bye!